Tonight's episode of The Outsider Insider. Tonight's episode of The Outsider Insider Live is brought to you by
The Kahat Airlines. Khan understands luxury international airline service. When the trip is more important than your destination, fly the Kahat Airlines.
The Kahat Airlines prides itself on having the highest trained pilots in the northern Himalayas. Oh, who cares where you want to go, man? Like it's the trip that matters. And I will get you somewhere, somehow, eventually. We will take out the Missouri this time! This time the Missouri goes down! All seats on board are luxury seating with the loveliest of flight attendants to serve the finest Kanunistani cuisine. All made with the legendary Kahat special recipe.
Try the brownies, man. They are righteous out of Syrtis, darlings.
Yes, for a trip you may never want to come down from, fly the Kahat Airlines.
Kahat Airlines. Get high on the plane while you are high on the plane.
Kahat Airlines is a subsidiary of Kanunistani Travel Agency, owned and operated by the Royal Khanate Governor of Kanunistan. Kahat Airlines' times of departure and destinations may change at any time, even mid-flight. All travel is at the whim of the flight crew or any cool idea suggested by hip passengers. Reservations and bookings are not guaranteed. Passengers with gullible personalities and large bank accounts are welcome. Squares and uncool types are asked to seek travel via other means. All information is on our website as soon as we get around to finishing it. Kahat Airlines is not responsible for lost luggage, passengers, or planes. Fly Kahat Airlines. channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout. Do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation. Hey, happy Friday, everybody out there. Let me know if you can hear me. All my information says we're good. Let's see who is here. I'm having a little bit of issue. It's showing me the chat, but it won't let me type replies in the chat on my current setup. But let's see who is here. So we got Mark at Hemmeldown. Welcome in. Rick from Folds Bailey. Awesome. Thanks for coming by. Hot Dog Pilot 63. Welcome in. Jim, Hover Motion. Nice to have you here. Jerry, the Class 812, the Caledonian. Nice to have you. Joseph Agliato. Dwight Curley. Jason, the Train Freak. Steve Childers was hoping you would pop on his stream earlier today. Stefan, how are you? We got the Plumber and Warwick Road Andy. That's not in the order that you arrived, but I've actually got this set up now where I can see who's coming in. A lot of people chatting while I was going on here. So Stefan, nice to have you here as well. So the big adventure this week was sorting out some of the issues that have plagued my live streams since I came back from the United Kingdom. And several friends are having very similar issues. Now, of course, even when people are having similar issues, it's like illnesses. You can have the same symptoms, but different illnesses. So I don't ever claim I've solved everybody's problem. I'm not that... I consider myself relatively tech savvy, but I'm not that tech savvy. I'm not a professional IT guy, as some of you people are. My grandson is great. If anybody were to follow me, I mean, you saw the pictures I posted earlier this week. I'm a happy grandpa, and I think anybody who's a grandfather, especially a first-time grandfather, you celebrate every bit. But I have been brainwashing my grandson to love model trains. Not because my kids didn't. No, my kids don't love model trains because I wasn't doing model trains when my kids were little. My kids loved, and I shared a lot of the same hobbies. We played video games together. We played tabletop wargaming together. We did all kinds of things together. I coached them in sports when they played. But this is my biggest hobby now. And Kyan has been being brainwashed since he was... born to like trains, and in a way it's paying off. If you saw the pictures I posted on the community, the 3 pictures, I have a little space back right here, And for the hell of it, I stupidly, because sometimes grandparents, you do something you think is cute and then you realize you may regret it later. He wanted to see the trains a little closer, so I stood him up here because he likes to go over to those stairs behind me and wants to watch the trains from the stairs where he's up high and can look down on them. And I don't want him on the stairs because he's not, I mean, he can walk, but he's not steady on stairs yet. You know, he's still a clumsy runner. Let's put it that way. I hope my daughter Lindy doesn't get upset if I say it that way, but he's great at getting up and down the stairs, but I'm a little nervous with him standing on the stairs because he can lose his balance or take a step backwards and forget he's on a step, but be that as it may. So I stood him right here. Now, every time he comes down here, he walks over, pats the table, and says, trains go, and then pats over here and says, put me up here, basically. He'll come over here. He wants up here. He wants to stand up there and watch the trains from there. And he is really into it, man. He is into the trains. He loves them. The biggest thing is, I don't know how it happened, but he apparently loves steam trains the most. Because every time I'm running a steam train and I blow that steam train whistle, he gets giddy excited. He loves blowing horns. I let him, there are horn symbols on my controllers here on some of them. And so I will let him press the horn button. So he'll play with the horns. But oh my goodness, once the steam horn started going, that's the only one he wants to hear. He doesn't want to hear the other horns on the other trains, although he likes that. He wants to hear that steam horn. So that's a little scary. Most of you guys are, let's see. I was out and about with your stuff. Okay. Yeah, because I'm standing there because I'm a scared grandpa. I don't want my grandson falling like that. But he also, if I'm trying to hold him steady there, he's like, get your hands off me, Opa. I can stand here, but I'll stand behind him anyhow. But yeah, if you look at those three pictures, other than when Grandma says, look here and smile, Kyan, his eyes are right on the train going under him. He is, I hope I've created a monster. I hope I have created. So that was, I've been watching him a lot, happily watching him a lot. I'm an old man. He tires me out a bit because he wants to walk. He wants to go places. He wants to run downstairs and watch the trains for half an hour. Then he wants to go upstairs and play cars or something like that. He wants to go for a walk. Then he wants to come back down and watch trains. And Opa's lazy, and Opa, I'm trying to learn to tell him to wait, but Opa can't. Opa is spoiling him. That's what grandkids are about, right? To spoil. But again, he just loves the whistle of the steamer. I don't know that he's in love with steam locomotives because I think his favorite is he really loves to watch the railjet go by. He's already learned to go zoom when it goes past because Opa Dodge says zoom every time it goes past. By the way, has anybody come in since I've been babbling? Oh, hey, Edward is here. I'm sorry, Edward. Thanks for coming in. I saw your broadcasting earlier. I have just spent 4 hours cleaning our bedroom. No, we're not that messy. But also dismantling the bed I built about 10 years ago. Joyce and I bought a new bed, and it's coming sometime between 4:30 and 7:30. So I had to tear apart this deluxe elaborate bed I built. The first big piece of furniture I ever built. I built bookshelves and silly things like that, but I built this big, elaborate, fancy, low to the floor, European style bed frame and bed for Joyce and me. And we've gone through various mattresses, and this latest mattress we bought 2 years, and we said it's got to go. And she just decided she wants one of those adjustable beds. Now, we didn't buy the really expensive fancy crap. We got one that does the basic, lifts the head up, because Joyce has asthma and sinus issues. So when she's laying in bed at night, sometimes she needs to be tilted up a bit, and this just makes sense. So we've got one of those dual zone, so she can crank it up to her side. But they're coming anytime here. I've set it up so I don't need to end my live stream, I hope, when they get here, because they said 4:30 to 7:30. So we'll see what time they show up. Hey, Leslie, there you are. How are you? Nice to have you here. There's Lindy. Maybe Lindy, but really the biggest thing is he loves the whistle. whenever, and by the way, if you're relatively new to the channel, Lindy Loves, that's my daughter. She and my son-in-law Chris are the parents of my grandson. So Kyan is her amazing son, beautiful daughter, beautiful grandson, wonderful son-in-law. Couldn't ask for a better son-in-law. He's a son. I hate to use that phrase, in-law. He's my son now. Just like all my students were always my kids. But Chris is an amazing help in so many ways, and he's a good father. And that's all you can ask, to be a good person and a good parent. And Kyan favors his dad. Kyan's such a cute guy. He favors his dad. He's got some Dodge genes. We'll see if those Dodge genes fight their way out in the long run. But anyhow, so Lindy is Kyan's mom. Yeah, that's what we did. We just bought from Denver Mattress. I don't think we didn't buy the purple mattress. That was not where we wanted to go. I forget what mattress we bought, but it better be better than the one. We bought one of these fancy, puffy, foam, air cool, blah, blah, blah things, and they were so highly rated, and they were a waste. It was a waste. 2 years. After 1 year, we had to add a foam cover to it, memory foam cover to stabilize it, but it developed a pit. Now, yes, when I bought that bed, I weighed 300 pounds, but it shouldn't have developed a pit like that. I've lost 75 pounds in the last 2 years, so that bed should not have gone that bad that fast. So, anyhow, the other thing was I did a test live stream, and it still had issues on Monday or Tuesday. I forget which day I did. I think it was Tuesday. I bought a new computer, okay, and that was the first live stream I did with it. And Artie is having this problem. Several of my friends in Germany and the UK are having this problem. Those of us who use OBS as a direct stream. Some people use OBS and then tie it into StreamYards, or they tie it into something else. And then they stream, or they just bypass OBS altogether. But when I started streaming 2 years ago, OBS was the one and only platform that allowed multiple cameras that I was aware of, where you could put more than one camera up, because very quickly I started adding cameras when I started doing live streams. To be honest, I think I stole the idea from Barnabas Junction. Barnabas Junction was the first live stream where I was going, and he had 3 different cameras up, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And I went and got 2 cameras, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and I was doing fine. I finally went up to 10 cameras plus a GoPro, and the computer CPU kept shutting down. I had like 3 streams in a row where my computer crashed during the live stream because I overloaded my CPU. So that's where, talking to my son-in-law Chris and everybody else, they said, you've got too much going in. So I took off a couple of cameras. And I talked to a few people, including Heath, over the weeks, and we talked about internet power, computer, video card, because my previous computer that I just replaced, it had a base level video card. It had no graphics accelerator, nothing. It was a straight basic. So the fact that it was running 8 cameras on live streams was fine. And I didn't have any issues until I came back from the United Kingdom. Then all of a sudden, all of us are having the same symptoms, but maybe not the same disease, because several things can cause that. And I'll get trains running here in a second. And that was one of the things people have suggested. You should just go to StreamYard. Well, for me, I sorted part of the problems out. Now, the first thing I did a long time ago was I upped my... I don't know how it is. I'm very jealous. My friends in Germany, the friends in the UK, they've got 20 Mbps, millibytes per second, upload easy. But in this part of the country, the best you can get for residential is 10. Corporations can get 20 or higher, but all the cable companies, including the local cable company, the best you can do residentially is 10. And everybody I know that broadcasts in the UK, they talk about, oh, we got 20 upload. And the best you can do here is 10 in this part of the country. I don't know why. I'm sure maybe East Coast and West Coast has better. Big cities have better. But in this part, in Ohio, this part of Ohio, Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, the best you can get is 10. Well, I paid the higher price and I've got 10. So I should be able to set my bit rate pretty high. And we have quality internet. We have quality download and upload speed. But I was sending a lot of information through my old camera. But all that was still working until I got back from the UK. And then the 3 live streams I did with the old computer back from the UK, we were having this freeze. And then it catches up. The audio didn't freeze, but the video would freeze. Artie's having the same problem. A few other people are having the same problem. But again, same symptoms, maybe different diseases. Hey, Joe Rader, how are you? So what happened was, while I was in the UK, OBS and YouTube did some system upgrades. Because when I went to load OBS on my new computer, it said, boom, do you want the new updated version of OBS? Sure. And what happened is OBS added a couple of buttons. And my problem was that OBS has added this tab that says ignore server, which is who's you're uploading to, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Ignore their recommended settings. And so because I'm running 10 cameras and sending a lot of bandwidth up, I need at least 4,000 kbps uploading to run my 10 cameras and have you guys see something other than hazy. But I also had cameras that were fighting each other and everything else. Well, I'm taking forever for this, and I'll get the trains going here. I apologize. But what happened is I was still setting everything high the way I did, but that stupid little button was keeping me at the 2500 suggested level by YouTube. Once I clicked that button, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 kbps started working. And for those who don't understand, that's kilobytes per second. That's kilobytes per second of uploading. If you're going to use lots of cameras, you've got to A, have a good processor and a good video card, and B, you've got to be able to upload. So, 10 millibytes is 1 kilobyte. 10 megabytes is 1 kilobyte. You know how that works. But anyhow, so yeah, I had to double check everything. Yes, I was running the proper upload strength, but that stupid button was limiting what I was doing. Now, if I had gone down to 720, it would have solved the problem, but I've always broadcast in 1080. Anyhow, I posted a video that explains how I solved the problem. I don't know if that will work for anybody else, but this is what I want to show because it sounds like you guys are hearing me, and nobody has said your voice sounds like it's in a tin can like Tuesday's live feed. I got a new mic. My other mic has been abused, knocked off the table, tripped over because of the cord and blah, blah, blah. I know people say go wireless. The problem is whenever I go wireless with joists coming down, we've tried to have dual microphones and they conflict with each other. The wireless wasn't working. This is still wired, but it's a much better microphone than the El Cheapo that I got rid of. So anyhow, let's see this and see if you guys agree. Look at the new setup, although most of you saw this, but this is now running at the high speed, and let's start some trains. And a lot of people have come in and I've been babbling on, ignored everybody. Hey Randall, how are you? Hope you are getting a little better day by day. Joe Rader is here. If I didn't say hello, hello Joe Rader. But let's get some trains running. And if you're watching on TV, especially a high definition TV, that's where you will really see the difference of my broadcast today. 10 cameras. First time I've run 10 cameras in about half a year. This little camera here, and then 3x3x3. And my CPU, which last week, Friday, the last live stream with the old computer, because I had a couple of people trying to help me who didn't understand I was changing computers. Because my live streams were eating 60 to 73% of my CPU with no video card enhancement. Now I've got a great video graphics card, a much higher CPU. I'm running an i7 11th or 12th generation. I forget which one. Hey, Ray, how are you? And hey, Andrew, how are you? I saw your video. I did not get a chance to watch it all yet. And by the way, I could double the number of cameras without any issues, other than I'd have to up my bit rate. Again, a week ago today, my live stream was eating 72% of my CPU. Today, I'm running 14% because of the new graphics card, the new processor, the new motherboard, the whole new CPU setup. And the video card takes such a heavy load off the motherboard and the CPU. The GPU is handling it. So this is all widescreen, 1080p, trains everywhere. My layout may not be the coolest layout on earth, but I got cool trains and I got a lot of freaking cool cameras. And that's what it's all about, right? It's better to look good than to feel good. Isn't that how the old bit went? And again, I can jack this up and make it even better. I can go up to easily a 9 megabyte or upload easily. So this is just, I've done a lot of testing, but I've been nervous because I did a lot of testing. I did 15 live stream tests, of which 4 accidentally went public. And immediately I get people going, hey, I noticed this. This is probably your problem. And it's like, no. I'm testing things. I was testing different settings to make sure the problem was what I thought the problem was. But I do owe quite a bit of thanks to Heath. Because, you know, Heath wants to help, and I will ask for help only when I've hit a brick wall. I like to sort things out for myself. So whether he feels it or not, the fact that I even asked Heath for advice or opinion is the highest compliment I can pay somebody. I hope that doesn't sound too arrogant, but I will ask for help when I know that I don't know what I'm doing. But as long as I think I know what I'm doing, I won't ask for help. And if I need to ask help, I got my son and my son-in-law who are great at a lot of computer stuff and online stuff and streaming knowledge. So if I have to reach out beyond that circle, that's a huge nod to my opinion of your abilities. And he started brainstorming ideas at me. And I was like, no, that's not it. I already tested that. No. But, you know, he's going to do that. He's going to start at base level 1 and then work his way up to where it could be. But he finally made a couple of suggestions where I was like, you know, maybe that's it. And it wasn't quite that problem, although that was tied into it. But it got me to look where the problem was. So Heath was a huge help, even if he doesn't think he was, because, you know, and Joyce could talk on the phone with Heath and say, Heath, you got to understand Anthony, and I do the same thing with him. I'll throw 20 ideas at him, and he'll reject all 20 ideas, but the 20 ideas I send to him will get him thinking in the right direction. Hey, Chris is here. How are you? And Randall, Randall, there is no such thing as a better layout, okay? I've got a bigger layout, okay? I am lucky that a lot of paths in my life led me to this moment in this time where I've got this small house with a big basement, and my kids have all grown up and moved out, and 5 years ago, Joyce said, take the basement, it's yours. Build a layout. I have a big layout. It's not better. If you have track and you run trains, you've got an awesome layout. That's all that's about. There's no competition. There's no, you do what you can do in the space and budget you have. That's my platform for today. And if people want to come in and say, well, I think you should only run operations, or I think you should only run tail chasers, or I think you need to have differentials in your track heights, that stuff has to be tuned out. You do what you can do and have fun with it. Tim, there you are. Well, that's a great reason. There's no such thing as being late. There's just being here. Hey, Kieran! Nice to have you, man. I saw that. I actually saw you promoted her there. Oh, heaven forbid. Well, this is Joyce and I's one and only house. We lived in a couple of small apartments, then a really small rental house for a year and a half, and then we bought this house 30 years ago, and we've been here ever since. And I have rebuilt every room in this house except our bedroom, and that was a job that was supposed to be started by now, but a new bed took priority, and that killed buying the other stuff I needed to start the bedroom. So it's the new bed now instead of the new bedroom. And we're still having debates on style, and Joyce and I work very well together. We're very good at picking out. We finally find a color scheme and everything we like. And we're like, great, let's go for it. Okay, we'll come back in a couple of months and buy this flooring. And then 2 months becomes 6 months, and then the flooring we like is gone. And then, Joyce wanted our bedroom to be a specific wall color, and I did not like it. And happy spouse, happy house, as they say. I finally ripped down the wallpaper on a few walls, and we painted it. And I grew to like. I said, okay, I can live with that. That's okay. I've got some furniture ideas and color ideas and flooring ideas. We can go with that. So we went out and picked the flooring and furniture ideas to match that color. We didn't buy anything. And then Joyce has been looking at the color going, I don't think I like this color. I don't like this color. Anyhow, I should probably pay attention to the chat. Yeah, he does do video production. He does. And I 100% respect that Heath is one of the best people out there. But it's like, if anybody knows Charlie Bishop, Chadwick, okay? I love Charlie. Love Charlie. But Charlie also used to run a camera channel where he talks about videography, okay? He talks about videography. He was a professional photographer and videographer, okay? After his years in the, I think it was Navy. And if you ever watched his videos, he would do rating cameras, and this is the lowest camera you need if you want to put videos on YouTube, or if you want to do this. And his camera started at, his suggestion started at about 5 times my budget. And there are there are times when things and everything you look at, you have to also work with what you have and what you can do. You can't necessarily go out and drop 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 500 here, 200 there. Now, I just did that because I retired and got a bonus, so I just bought a major computer. And what did it do? It solved all those problems. But, so, yeah, Heath is a wizard, and I don't know if it ever comes across enough. I have nothing but admiration and respect for him. But at the same time, I like to think when I'm dealing with my computer and my situation in my house, I like to think, I kind of know some nuances here that you have to be here. And that's how I learn. I don't learn watching a video. I need to be standing next to the guy watching. I learned to fix cars by my dad grabbing me by the ear saying, watch what I do. I learned to do electrical and plumbing and drywall and painting by my mom and my dad and uncles and aunts grabbing me by the ear and saying, watch this is how you do it. And then making me do it and whapping me upside the head when I did it wrong. I don't necessarily say that's the best way to teach, but it's how I learn. Yes, Heath, somebody was mentioning you. Yeah, a lot of people say happy wife, happy life. I go with happy spouse, happy house because happy wife, happy life, it's a 50-50 proposition. If the wife's happy and the husband's not happy, it's not a happy life. Both sides have to be happy. Both sides have to be happy. It can't be all about just pleasing her. It can't be all about just pleasing him. Or him and him. Or her and her. It has to be a 50-50 work and 100% agreement. There are compromises, sure. But that's why I like happy spouse, happy house, because it covers all elements. Male, male, female, female, male, female, but it doesn't just, say one person deserves all of it. You treat your wife like a queen, but she better treat you like an equal as well and not a peasant. So anyhow, what are you guys all up to today? Anyhow, the trains I'm running today, I am running the ICE4, which is coming up above me right now. There's the ICE4. And then going next to it is the ICE3. And then where is number 3? He's going around, bada bing, bada boom. What camera? Yeah, he's just coming up. That camera down in the corner, he's coming up. He'll be coming up the ramp in a second. That is my 101 with my Czech EC, Eurocity Express train. In fact, let's watch all these cameras. Let's follow this guy around. This is my German 101 locomotive. Now coming into the station. Now up to the village view. Now into this one. And then straight into this one. Now the 11 lane. The Joyce view. The corner view. And then the long view where you just can see it kind of at the bottom there. You can see it coming around. And now it's getting ready to go up the ramp again. Yes, the railjet got parked. The railjet gets run more than about any other train. So I ran it the last couple of weeks again. So I parked it again. Because I really decided I wanted to run the ICE3 and the ICE4. And I haven't run my IC1 or IC2 in a while, so they'll probably come out very soon. But as you can see, this is, and then again, if you don't know the layout, here is the layout with all the cameras in it, kind of showing you where the cameras are. But this is my layout. my amazing graphic artwork to really demonstrate. This is a Any Rails bit, then edited with Microsoft Paint, because I am not a graphic artist. My daughter is. But whatever artistic talent my daughter has, and she has a shitload of artistic talent, she didn't inherit it from me directly. My mom was a hell of an artist. My dad could draw and draw. My dad could sit down and draw architectural level plans. He could draw electrical diagnostic plans. And you'd think Da Vinci did them. My mom could paint and sold paintings. Which, considering all the talent and things she had, why my family was poor, I don't know. But there it is. But anyhow, so yeah, that is that was the trip around here. There's the ICE3 going through right now, going down the ramp. But I think all these views look better going through because the cameras are, the processing speed is going up. Yes, the flickering is gone. No, I have not fixed the tricky switch. That's another project that was a summer project. Fortunately, summer doesn't end until end of September. But yeah, I've got to take out a whole bunch of these. Merklin calls them the long, narrow turnouts. That's what Merklin calls them, translated from German into English. They're called the long, narrow turnouts. And I've got 4 of them I have to replace with standard turnouts, which is going to set off the geometry of my tracks. And then I've got one other turnout that I think is not so much, it's not an electrical problem. I've got a couple of cars that derail over it unless they go at about 2 miles an hour. It's a turnout that leads into my parking area where all my high-speed trains are parked. So, yeah, I mean, so the final result, you know, for me, and again, only for me, that video, the issue, I had already checked everything else, was that stupid limitation that was on OBS that says ignore whatever platform you're using, ignore their recommended settings. Because their recommended settings were too low for what I was trying to do. So even though I had fixed the CPU and video issues and had fixed, you know, knew my internet was good enough, that stupid little thing. So I was setting myself to broadcast at 6,000 kbps, but YouTube was suggesting 2,500. And that's where talking to Heath about a few things got me, I needed to check that, because we were talking about, are the USB ports, was I overloading the USB ports, and was that a problem? Well, that was an issue I was having where cameras weren't being read, is because I had 2 of the cameras plugged into one of my PCI Express things. I did not install the drivers correctly on it, and it had a malfunction in it, so it wasn't reading, it was only reading the one camera plugged into it. Once I took those 2 cameras out and plugged them elsewhere, all 10 of my cameras worked, which was a big thing. So yeah, again, Heath helped me a lot, so if you're still here, Heath, again, you know, deep gratitude to you. No, I have not gotten the Beatles train converted. I cannot find anybody who says they can do it. And that is some top-end American shops that specialize in converting. My guy in California says he doesn't think he can do it. and Helmut's Hobbies, which is the other big European train repair and fix place for the country, their guy said they couldn't do that, or even my Lima. He says, well, I can do your Lima, not my Lima, my Acme. My Acme, my beautiful Acme Czech locomotive. He says he has to have certain parts from Acme to be able to convert it, and Acme says we don't have those parts. So well, and that's what I did, and that's where a couple of you accidentally got that. My daughter said, was like, wow, Dad's live streaming right now? Why is he live streaming? Because I did 15 live stream tests, of which 4 accidentally went public because I forgot to click private on those. I was doing so many tests and I kept just redoing it. I thought it saved the setting. It didn't. So all of a sudden I'm getting a text from a friend going, are you live? I was like, no, I'm doing a private one. No, it's public. Oh, shit. And I went back and changed it. Hey, Tom Couples is here. How are you? But, yeah, as I showed on my, that OBS video I did, which was also, not only did I do 15 test streams, I did like 10 takes of that stupid video because I kept flubbing parts, or I was filming it with my camera and my camera's got a very sensitive screen and I'd accidentally shut off midway through, or it was just frustrating. So it wasn't even the best version of it. I was just tired and wanted to get it up. But the biggest thing is there's so many factors, and different people from different walks of life can explain it differently or better. But again, as anybody who has enough experience with all this, because I was, I used to be a sysop and a channel op back in the MIRC days, back in the early 90s, and have to deal with internet relay issues and things like that, back when we were doing this shit with dial-up and trying to problem solve. And I do like problem solving. I like not having problems, but if I have a problem, I cuss and moan because I learned to do that from my dad. But then I like to figure it out or walk away from it and pretend it never happened. But the problem was YouTube was preset for 2,500, and I was trying to broadcast at 6,000. And then I came down to 4,000. This is before I figured out it was that stupid button. I came down to 4,000 and did a test stream, and all of a sudden, I was only dropping about 20% frames. Last Tuesday, my first stream with this new computer and camera arrangement, I was at 6,000 kbs upload, which, my internet can handle that easily. It wasn't that issue, but YouTube only wants 2,500. So what happens is OBS automatically adjusts and fills up the recommended settings and then skips the rest. So if you're trying to broadcast at 6,000, they're going to go to about 3,000 and drop half the frames you're doing. They're going to drop half the frames. And so when I came down to 4,000, all of a sudden I was only instead of dropping 50% like I was doing on Tuesday's live stream, I was dropping 20%. I was like, this is a big switch. What did I do? Oh, I came down and killed it. So then I went down to 3,000. All of a sudden I wasn't dropping anything, but quality of my test streams was pretty crappy. So I go, why is this only accepting 3,000? I go into my OBS settings. It's like, no, you're set to do 6,000, but you've reduced it to 3. And then I went back to the OBS settings page, and there was that little button. Ignore platform servers recommended settings, and it wasn't checked. I checked and ran at 4,000, no drop rates. Ran at 4,500, no drop frames. Ran at 5,000, no drop frames. 5,500, no drop frames. 6,000, no drop frames. Changed a couple other things. Tested again. So for me, the solution was YouTube had limited how many kilobytes I could send them, even though I was trying to send them 6. They were only taking 2,500 to 3,000. And that's why you'd have all that freezing and frame rate. So I don't know if that'll fix your problem, Chris, but that's a place to look. Again, you got to check your internet and see what's going up. You know, what is your internet upload? Because that's a factor in it too. You'll have the same exact problems I did if you're trying to send 5,000 kilobytes and your internet's only letting you send 3. Hey, EFO, how are you? It very well could be EFO. I wouldn't dare to speak for what they're thinking. I won't dare to, you know. YouTube wants everybody on YouTube so they can throw commercials on and make money. Now, YouTube might, in fact, try to make live streaming for little people harder who aren't monetized because they can't throw commercials on. At least during live streams, they can't throw commercials on. Hey, Philip Page is here. How are you? So yeah, for now, my tech issues are sorted. I don't know if there's one person on planet Earth I helped with what I did. It was just like anybody who helps people, you throw an idea out there and said, you're having these problems. Could this be the one? I'm not remotely arrogant enough to think I can solve other people's problems, because otherwise I'd write the book and get rich. You know, seriously, at the risk of, you know, I don't want it to be gloating, and everybody has different things. People have been married and divorced. People have been happily together without being married for 40 years, and people have been married once miserably for a few years, and then second marriage or two. You know, people go, Anthony, Joyce, you guys always seem so happy. You've been together 40 years, married for 35. What's the secret? I don't know. If I knew, I'd write the book and get rich. I'd pretend I'm Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz or these other quacks that Oprah foisted on us, and pretend to know stuff I don't know. But I won't pretend to know what I don't know. I think I know a lot. I think I know most. I know more about more things than the average person out there. But I also know where my limits are, you know. Dirty Harry, a man's got to know his limitations. All right, well then, again, just check to see on your OBS, look at those settings I showed you. And depending on, like you're trying to run 5 cameras, you should be able to do it at 4,000 kbps with no problem. And just make sure you click that 1 bit. But the other issue is your CPU and your computer. You know, how is it handling 5? Because are you using a, you're using a desktop, aren't you, Chris? So the other factor is your video card. And so GPU and CPU. GPU is basically your video cards. Because really a video graphics card is kind of like another computer inside your computer. It basically has its own chip, its own little motherboard setup. Even though it plugs into your computer's motherboard, it basically has its own little setup. It's its own little computer inside. And if your graphics card can't handle all that information coming from your cameras, then it doesn't matter if you got great upload and download. So that's why you got to check those too. In some cases, you might just reduce the bit rate so your videos won't look as clean, but you won't flicker and freeze. Do I listen to Joyce? Yes. Does she listen to me? Yes. Hey, Clive, how are you? Hey, Christopher. I caught a couple of your videos. I saw you posted another one as you were painting the Spitfire. I will catch up with that. I watched Steve Childers and I watched Ray's newest videos while I was tearing apart a bed. And then Joy said, let's listen to music instead. So we listened to some music for a while. But it took me 4 hours to dismantle the bed I built. When I build something, I build it to survive nuclear blast. It took me a couple of weeks to build, and it took me 4 hours to take it apart. I'm doing great. I've had a really good week. Joyce and I got out to play tennis 3 times this week. First time we've been able to get out all 3 days in a week to play tennis. I had a couple of great days watching my grandson Kyan. Joyce and I bought a new bed, which is coming in anywhere in the next 3 hours. We've had relatively decent weather. It hasn't been super hot here. Today was actually a pretty day. I was glad to be outside for a bit, but that was early in the morning. We cut tennis short so we could get going, and I'm glad we did because holy cow, that bed took a lot longer to take apart than I thought it would. All that darn wood glue and screws and nails and... Hey, Andrew, no such thing as being late to a live stream. It's not like I started a concert and you missed your 5 favorite songs. It's me babbling, trains are running, and lots of good people talking to each other. Occasionally, I realized they were talking to me. But the thing is, when we say, do I listen to her, does that mean do I obey her? And no. Joyce and I are usually good negotiators. We know how to work. We know how to work with each other. I know her faults, she knows mine, and our faults don't usually annoy the other person. Or at least only a little. Beep. That's somebody texting me right now. Wonder what that could be. Or not. Phone, why did you beep? Oh well, never mind. Yes, Evo. But again, see, this is like when you get an electrician and an electrical engineer together. No matter how you try to explain something, the guys that have much more experience and detail want to clarify it to the maximum, even if it goes over half their audience's head. I always explain things the way I would explain things to my students. I go to the simple, lowest common denominator. I explain things in a way that the minute you start going, well, the GPU is integer based and blah, blah, blah. See, I understand that. But a 15-year-old kid on the street or a 25-year-old who doesn't have a background in computer IT technology, they don't necessarily know that. So if you just tell them a video card is basically another computer inside a computer, they can relate to that. It's got its own processor, and then we can go and talk about the difference between those processors, but I like to keep it LCD, lowest common denominator. Because again, I computers with friends whose parents could afford to buy them computer parts when I was a teenager in the late 70s, early 80s. And that's back when you had to actually code them yourselves. And then I built many a Frankenstein computer over the years, but there came a point where I just... it was cheaper to go to Best Buy and buy one than to custom build your own. It was a lot easier. You need a computer tomorrow, Best Buy trip it is. And don't forget the flux capacitor. Absolutely. And whatever you do, never press the red button. I wonder what this red button does. I got him now! I got him now! Hey, mister! You need a house to go with this doorknob! If anybody gets that, awesome. I'm wearing my York shirt from York, England, not York Town, or New York, or Old York. This would be the Old York. Do you, Efo? I'm not surprised. You're a super techie guy. I had this one custom built. I told the guy what I wanted. I asked what were the best things to get. Here's what I need. I don't need a $5,000 super complex gaming computer. I don't want to spend that much on a computer. And to me, when you spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a computer, you've spent $2,000 on a computer and $3,000 on flashing lights and gizmos. I don't need flashing lights and gizmos. Although, this computer does have flashing lights on it. I turned them off, but it does have them in it. Because all the fans come with that stuff now. The fans come with disco lighting systems built into them. Really? But you know, I wanted a higher end. I wanted a higher end video card. I did not get the highest end, but I got a really good one. Although according to my son-in-law, I got a middle of the road top level, if that makes sense. So it's top level, but it's middle of the road top level. There are better ones. Because Willy Wonka was evil. Yeah, so my computer is a disco, but I've shut that off. But if I want to, I can do all sorts of flashing lights down here, and it's like, I don't need that. But I got an i7 processor. I could have gone with i9 and spent more money. I could have gotten an i9, even fancier cooling system and blah, 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 because i9s run really hot. I could have done all sorts of crazy things with it. But my i5 was handling it fairly well, so I figured an i7 was good enough. Psst, is that a wife behind me? You never miss anything on this channel. That's the nice thing. If you think you missed something, just come back next week and you'll see the same thing all over again. It's been crazy since we got back from the UK. There are so many things I wanted to do and haven't gotten to yet. I don't even know what I'm doing other than I'm keeping busy, not keeping busy. I don't know how that works. Anyhow, oh, that stupid thing's going to open up. Oh, there, we stopped it. All right. Here, you can try out the new mic now.
Okay.
Now, hopefully, now if I turn it that way, it should be able to pick up both you and I because I've got it set for front pickup only.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're good?
Yeah, keeping it in. So, hi, Jason. And hi, Philip. And hi, Tom.
So, Joyce is now up in the corner instead of below me. She's now up over my right. That's just the way the new configuration went with the 10th camera added.
Hello, LA's? Huh. Hi, Ray. Hi, Joseph. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, and she was supposed to put out a new video last week, and somebody did it,
Hi, Karen.
and then decided she didn't like it. She didn't like it and did it again, and then decided.
I tried it upstairs and it was too dark.
Yeah,
we just had too many issues with it and then stuff.
So she does have a new video coming out. She just has to re-video it again.
Do it again.
But she's trying to get used to the new OBS setup here too.
Right. So anyway, yeah, it just.
And Kyan's here. Kyan, Opa, and Oma.
Yeah, bye, Kai.
The wild Kyan just appeared as well. Hi, Kyan.
Yeah, just got up for this nap, huh?
All right, we'll watch the IC4 around.
Looking if you want for a different beach.
Yeah, you're on that camera now. Back there.
Yeah.
Up.
Hey,
now
Andrew.
you're not on. Well, actually, now your back's on the camera.
Okay.
As we're watching the two ICs.
I'm not really worried about it, honey. It's okay.
And now you're not on any camera.
He's doing the tour.
I want to show these pictures more because now you can really see things.
Yeah.
These really just show up so much clearer and brighter now.
Hey, Chris. So, do you have to click them or can it do just go through itself?
No, I have to click them. I haven't got it set up where they can go through themselves.
Gotcha. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. You can set it up. I just haven't done it.
Sort of a slideshow type thing.
And there's Joyce.
I'm fine, Andrew. How are you? I don't think I'm breathing very well, but we uncovered a lot of dust today.
Yeah, Joyce is not going to sound, she's not going to sound good today because we've been cleaning our room as well as dismantling the bed, and that kicked up a lot of dust.
Once you're in there, you got to clean it, and so yeah, it's a lot of dust.
So her asthma and breathing are not happy right now.
That's what it is. Anyway, thank you, hot dog. He's an Andrew too, isn't he?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Oh, a bit tan.
Oh, well, he was, yeah, I forgot. You posted a new video where you were out watching for a train.
You were train spotting, huh?
Or rail fanning.
Rail fanning.
Nobody has still explained the difference between train spotting and rail fanning, but some people definitely say, I was rail fanning, not train spotting. I don't know. To me, it's...
Well, what are your temperatures like? Are they more manageable now, I think?
I thought they warmed up again.
I thought you were warming up, so I don't know. I was looking at different beaches. I went for one by Sandusky. It looks like a good one.
Yeah, but that's a bit of a drive.
And it's not green.
Exactly, Raymond.
Yeah.
And she has allergies.
Yeah. So, it's good to clean. I mean, we just can't get back there real well, so. Same thing, different gravy.
Well, I built a monster bed. I built a monster bed and headboard. And those things haven't been moved in a long time. So, once we took all the framing out and all the stuff underneath, there was a lot of dust that had piled up over the 10 years since I built that bed and put it in there. 10 years, I think. Maybe more. Maybe less.
Since we did what? Oh, since we pulled everything
When I
out?
built that bed.
Yeah, probably. Something like that.
It was the first real piece of furniture I built.
When you go and spot a train, rail fanning's when you post up and the train comes to you. Why not? Oh, hi, Leslie. Yeah, we got that bad bed coming. I figured I should come down a little bit. Well, it's nice you came in, Randall.
No, Randall, our grandson is not here today. He comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. Now, it doesn't mean he wouldn't come on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, because we did have him a couple of Fridays ago.
Yeah, we did.
But
I mean, just if stuff comes up, and yeah.
My daughter basically works freelance, and she has certain jobs that when they call her, she has to go do. So some are scheduled. She has to go do them on certain days. Others, she can set the day.
That is super curious how there could be dust mites A and dust mites B. I haven't heard of that. Have you watched a Scottish movie, Train Spotting?
No, Lynn has, I believe. But we haven't watched it. Because
Lindsay,
even though
is
it's
that
called
true?
Train Spotting, it really isn't.
It's not about that much about trains, huh?
It's actually isn't it a rather violent movie? About gangs and drug abuse or something like that? I forget the plot.
Is my phone dirty? So no, Andrew, I haven't watched it. Might or might not. I know there are like skin mites and dust mites and that's because we talk about him all
Yeah,
the
because he's
time.
online, Randall. He's watching us right now.
Yeah.
My daughter is here. My daughter is in the YouTube chat here, and they're watching us at home on computer.
Yeah, but they're at their house.
But they're at their house.
Little Jew just got up from his nap.
We're just waiting for somebody to knock at the door.
Did they say they call first? I don't remember.
No, I don't remember them saying that.
Oh,
Liz is
okay,
in the living
then.
room, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah, so we're good.
The railway
Heroin
children.
junkies. Okay, it is drugs. Okay.
Gotcha. Ah, okay. Heroin junkies, huh? Oh, don't you have the book, Lindy? No, we've not watched The Railway Children, although we saw from Sam there's a sequel to The Railway Children.
There's a sequel, and Jenny, it's basically one of the three kids, the one that Jenny played in the original 69 movie, is grown up, and they have a new adventure. I think, like 50 years ago, I saw the original train,
Hey, Kyle.
the train children's movie. Or what? Hello, Kyle. How are you?
Yeah. Okay. Part cleaned up. Local, they need it for sure. March West is in Andrew, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. Hi, Andrew. Yeah, I'm fine. I say we've been deep cleaning, so I'm not breathing.
Our bedroom got the most thorough scrubbing it's had in a long time.
know.
It gets
We probably
it
put the
gets
bed
its
in, we
tidying.
painted it.
Well, we tore apart this deluxe monster bed frame that I built for our king size bed many years ago, and I build things to stay together. Now, I don't overuse screws. I use 3 screws where 3 screws are required, 2 screws where 2 screws are required. I don't screw around. Well, but when I build something, it's not coming apart easy,
That's for sure.
which kills me when I have to take it apart.
Lindy, Dad always shows.
This is my grandson right now at his house.
Watch him. He's got his bright striped t-shirt on. Kai is a YouTube star.
You know, the funny thing is, like, Rick Foltz commented on the picture I put up of Kai yesterday, and I don't know if he commented back, but I replied to his comment. I said, do you remember when he was 7 weeks old and his first live YouTube appearance was on your Sidetrack Sunday
Right.
where he did the pass the throttle challenge at 7 weeks old.
Says you have a few screws loose. Oh man, I need a respirator. I'll be alright. I could use my inhaler probably, but
She'd probably take a puff or two on her inhaler, but she's, what's the word, stubborn?
it'll clear up. If I stop breathing, you all will notice.
If she starts turning blue and you see it before I do, let me know.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, it was Rick Bailey's
Yeah, it was Rick Bailey's challenge,
Yeah.
but I thought it was on a Sidetrack Sunday episode.
I think it was.
Because it was live.
Yeah, it was live.
Because the whole family was there, and the only time my whole family is there is on Sunday
Right.
for Sunday dinner, and we were watching Rick doing a Sidetrack Sunday. He was hosting it, and he had Boxcar Jerry and I think even John from Schuylkill River Valley. I've got the video saved. But yeah, Kyan was 7 weeks old and did the Pass the Throttle challenge on
Sidetrack
Sidetrack
he was just
Sunday.
kind of smacking at
So
it.
at 7 weeks old, he made his first YouTube live stream appearance. And he's been on a few of mine since, and he's appeared
You are
in...
punning your screw around.
Hey, Pierre is here!
Yeah, hi Pierre. I don't think the Heimlich maneuver is necessary. Got everything lodged in my throat.
No, and besides, if I had to do the Heimlich maneuver on Joyce, this program would become X-rated.
It's a good way to break ribs.
Yeah. You're more up to date on this. Isn't the Heimlich maneuver being kind of phased out and said don't do it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought there was a because
Even though you tend to break ribs
You
with
tend to
it,
break
it
ribs doing
still dislodges. It still saves your life.
it dislodges the food and
The-
your...
The cost is still not as great as the reward. Not as bad as the reward.
No, the
not
reward
sad.
is still better.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So yeah,
They have fun to look at though. No, it isn't as I projectile something out at the screen. Camera. I don't know. Gotcha. She's cute. Yeah, that one I've heard too. One of the first stories I heard is somebody noticed
right.
was doing mouth to mouth. They noticed his heart rate went down whenever they did the mouth
Right.
to mouth, and they're like, okay, it's not effective.
Right, and also you tend to be, most people, even doing mouth to mouth, you tend to be blowing more carbon dioxide in than actual oxygen. So that's another reason why they want to phase it out, because you're really not accomplishing much with it.
All right. Chris is feeling the same way about the drive to the beach as Dad, so they'll wait a week or two.
Okay, hopefully something will clear. The algae bloom,
That algae
Ohio's
bloom isn't
favorite
gonna
plant, the
clear.
algae bloom.
It's not gonna clear.
Hi all, welcome to the Model Train Outsider. Today, Anthony and Joyce will demonstrate the Heimlich maneuver.
But now mouth
The
to
Model
mouth,
Train Outsider has
because
been
that's
removed
getting
from YouTube
phased
due
out.
to...
Yeah, so kissing is out, folks.
The Model Train Outsider's health tips.
No, I'm tired.
Really?
I know.
Yeah, that was hard work watching me work, wasn't it? Oh no, kissing's not out. Just don't go around kissing unconscious dead bodies. Or unconscious bodies or dead bodies or, you know,
conscious bodies of people who are not
breathing well.
or their heart's not beating.
Yeah, if I tried to kiss her right now, she'd probably hit me. I can't breathe!
There's that.
Well, I leave her breathless. Well, you know, the problem is she gets a chest cold and it never wants to leave.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, there's kind of that. I got a lazy boy, though. But yeah,
She's got a lazy boy in there, and she doesn't mean me.
No, when Anthony works, Anthony works.
She's tired, but she could still run a couple of houses on the energy here.
That doesn't mean I'm energetic.
No, when Artie was planning on coming here, we were going to
Here.
set up a bed for him right here. Literally,
Yeah.
this is where Artie was going to sleep when he was coming to our house.
We figured he'd be comfortable with the trains. Yeah, we're the one who doesn't have a bed to sleep on.
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. You don't, because
I
they know we
know,
took
but
the
then he
bed.
put it on there. Oh, so Ray does have a bed down in his Ray. Golly, I'd never seen
No,
you.
he's got the workout room, although I don't know if the exercise equipment's still there. Ray had a workout room there. There was a bedroom down there. That's one thing. I've got a bar here, and I've got the workroom and everything else here. Just not a bathroom down here. Just don't have the water closet down here.
Yeah, we probably could. Probably could finagle one down here.
I don't know. With the plumbing, I don't know if we could finagle one in here.
I don't
There's
know.
no room. I mean, I suppose you could build there, but they'd have to get into the
Yeah.
the drain somehow proper. I don't know.
Ah,
Water
gotcha. Okay. That's handy. It's a mobile guest house. Sounds warm.
Yeah, and it's also lends itself to a lot of mean jokes, Jason. You have guests sleeping in there at night. You are in Arkansas. You go running out in the middle of the night and start shaking it. Tornado! Tornado! And I've been in a camper that was blown over by a tornado. Over the side of a mountain. No, I won't sleep in campers anymore.
That's nice. Yeah, he had some bad experiences in him.
Put a bucket in the corner. No, that got a friend's YouTube channel in trouble.
That's true. Well, you know, it's good for emergencies when you're offline, though.
You know, if you notice, you never see me from the waist up. You have no idea what's below here. That's the new thing with the mic. This one has a mute on it. Don't touch that button.
Gotcha. That button.
That button. It has to stay green. You could say you've done that. So have I, but I was actually in a camper out in Colorado when I was a kid, and a tornado struck near the campground, and we were up the hill, and the winds just whoop, 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 whoop. Me, my 4 siblings, no, 3 of my siblings, because my little brother was too young. He was left back in with my uncle babysitting him. And then 4 cousins. We were on this little pop-up camper. The parents were in tents and another camper, and all the cousins were in this
That
one
is
camper.
handy.
And woo, blew us right over. We rolled at least half a football field. Nobody broke any bones, but man, we were bruised and cut and scarred. It was not fun.
You're right, Leslie. Hey, we got it the first time, Pierre. Probably a little more graphically described than we would have liked, but yeah.
And I've got all the parts to get that windmill working, and I just
Gotcha.
haven't done that
Windmill.
windmill either.
No computer? You said what? I'm sorry. That is TMI, Pierre.
That is way too much information there, Pierre. You darn French, you're all the same. Oops, they're all off the camera. I got lost. Yep, they're all passing by. There we go. There's that view for a while.
Is that a windmill?
Actually, the windmill is to the left of me, or as I'm sitting right now, behind me. It actually is motorized and will work, except the motor was broken and I've got the parts to fix it, which I've had for 3 years and I've never fixed it.
Yikes, Randall.
But again, if you look real carefully, you can see the mallard. Up on the top shelf, my UK people, the mallard and the Beatles Eurostar up there. Yeah, that's probably the best view of the windmill, so it's right there behind me. Although technically it's to my left, because normally I sit facing this way, but I'm facing this way.
This direction, yeah. When I come down.
No, it doesn't work yet. I've got the parts, but I haven't fixed the motor. I've had the parts for 2 to 3 years, and I've just never sat down to fix it.
Gotcha. Are you saying Hot Dog Pilot gets motion sickness?
I wondered if he said the windmill would get him.
I agree, Pierre. You got to know somebody.
But yeah, there you can see the windmill. There you can see my hand.
That does sound dreadful, Ray.
So the windmill's over there.
Was that
That might be the best view of it because you can see it clearly
the
on the
one
hill.
that hit the East Coast? Did that hit you? Which one hit the East Coast?
A lot of them.
Yeah, but up that far north.
Well,
It's
ask him
New
which
York,
one.
or which one was it?
Well, he's in northern Maryland, so it's not that north.
It hit New York and New Jersey.
With tornadoes. Ah, I see what you did there. Tornado was a type of plane.
Ah.
Christopher being punny,
Gotcha.
courtesy of the RAF.
Haha. Sorry.
Why are you being so ha-ha about it? Like, there's another view. You can see the windmill in the back of that view.
Okay. Hurricane Hugo.
Hugo.
All right, so that. Okay, thank you. That was South
And he was in
Carolina
Charleston,
one.
South Carolina
Gotcha.
then.
Yep. No, that's meteorologically we're in a very boring area here in Toledo.
Everything about Toledo's boring.
We don't get a whole lot.
Occasional big snowstorm, occasional thunderstorms.
And it's windy frequently, especially in the between seasons. You get typhoons now? There's new one. Thanks, Com. I was just going to say the same thing, but Daisy will say it. Hit the like button, fellas.
That was Daisy.
That's what I said.
I was impressed. Usually it takes you a little bit to get into voice. You went straight to it there.
Yeah.
Actually, that wasn't Daisy. That was Lil. That was more Lil.
Oh, leave me alone.
Because, it was definitely one of the voices, but yeah, that wasn't Daisy. That was Lil.
Hit the like button, gentlemen.
That's Daisy.
That's Daisy. Yeah, all right, hot dog.
As I know they were airplanes. Hey, Hey, where's our favorite or least favorite Dane today?
Really?
Jean Ricard did not come in today. Where is he?
Ricard is not here. Do you have any Steuerwagen trains?
No Steuerwagens today. Maybe that's why he's not here.
Maybe that's why he's not here.
Say hi to everybody, Joyce. You're on Candid Camera.
Hi, everybody. He's allowed to do something else, you know.
Rock
Okay.
and roll high school.
Gotcha. We name everything natural things, and it's confusing.
Yeah, but so he's saying the typhoons are also an airplane. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got there.
Joyce knows many things. Militaria, no.
Not so much. Yeah. Hi,
She's
Tom.
not a military historian person. She's not even into military stuff. And I am into military history, and well, heck, I was a West Point cadet at one time, but
yeah.
yeah, I'm not. I just don't bore her with the details. Although, what movie were we just watching where you were asking a lot of questions?
What?
What?
You never bore me with the details? This is not my husband talking. We were watching...
Okay, I do bore you with the details.
Britannia. The Battle of Britannia?
Oh, Battle of Britain.
Battle of Britain.
We were watching the 1969 movie Battle of Britain, which is a horribly done movie.
Gotcha.
A lot of big-name actors.
Yeah, not much. Well, the plot was murky at best.
I mean, well, the thing is, if you're from the UK, you fully understand everything. But even
Probably,
then,
yeah.
they really did a lousy job giving you the time that's going on and the various phases the Battle of Britain went through. Because it was obviously, I mean, most people think the Battle of Britain was just a few months, but really it was 2-3 years of continuous bombing and
That's right,
repelling.
Randall.
I mean, to me, it's the greatest event,
So,
the greatest military victory in
film.
UK history. In British history,
Yeah.
the Battle of Britain is their greatest moment.
Yeah.
Because it was them against Germany,
Hitler,
and they held their own alone.
Yeah.
Even forget El Alamein. Because in the long run, El Alamein would not have factored as much. The Battle of Britain was the big win.
Yeah.
And the movie, I just feel like, does it such an injustice. I mean, you got one of the greatest Shakespearean actors of all time, Sir Laurence Olivier, and all he does through the movie is mutter, "We need more pilots. We need more pilots. Oh, wherefore art thou pilots? Why do they not appear for us where we need pilots? That is what we need. We do not need the big wing, nor the short wing, or the small wing. We need no wings at all. What we need are pilots." That's all Olivier says in that whole freaking movie.
And multiple times.
Looks like somebody gave him half a dose of anesthesia, and the only line he could remember was, "We need more pilots."
Fair enough, Christopher. Not that I've had that experience, but...
Yeah, but even so, well, I mean, the Blitz definitely lasted a couple of years, and the Battle of Britain went through its phases, but again, the movie does a bad job of really distinguishing that. And I know I'm probably causing war because I love good war movies and I know time has to be compressed.
Sure, and what Anthony's saying too, I think, is this: when it came out, you guys all knew the sequence, so you didn't need it spelled out to you. But watching it now, it was a little like, didn't they just bomb the airports yesterday? I mean, it just wasn't even clear.
So I just, for the great, it's a movie I think that could be redone and be redone better.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, there's
Thank you, Leslie, a fellow UK person who
Right.
agrees with me that the acting in the movie was terrible. And come on, I mean, oh my goodness,
just
you've
a
got
nice
Robert Shaw. You've got Robert Shaw. You've got Sir Laurence Olivier and all these great actors. Guys that would become famous actors and win BAFTA awards and everything else. And the acting is just so... And even the movie and the direction was going for the quick, cheap... what word am I looking for here? Sentimentality. Instead of catching the sentiment, they went for the sentimentality. The Siege of Malta, there you go. Well, dinner time. Okay, Ray, there you go.
all right, Ray. Nice you came in today.
But you know, it came out, the movie came out in the
Duxford on your
60s
trip?
when UK culture was ruling the world. The Beatles blew open the door, the Beatles, and then the Mersey Sound, and then the Rolling Stones, and then the Who. Fleet Street in London was the fashion capital of the world. And it was great to be British. And, you know, just from my love of the Beatles story is the 50s and early 60s were a time where you people that lived in those times, I mean, Robert or Alan, you guys, you know, it was some hard times in the 50s and 60s coming out of the post-war era. You won the war, but you had been battered and were broke. We came out of the war with dead soldiers, but came home to an economy ready to take over the world. All right, Kyle, try to have a good day at work.
Yeah, you are right. Anthony said the same thing. He said that was the strategy was blown. If they'd stayed on the airports, they would have made a real big difference.
Oh, Fleet Street was the new paper. Carnaby Street. But yeah, both were dominant. Yeah, Carnaby Street was the fashion. I've walked down both now on our trip to London. But yeah,
true.
Carnaby Street was the fashion street. Fleet Street, yeah, Fleet Street newspapers, Fleet Street rags, right.
Oh, okay.
Brain freeze. Freudian slip there. Or Freudian 90. Freud played that way.
Yeah. Hi, Kiwi Dave.
But yeah, you know, but again, sometimes, you know, we could sit here and argue military possibilities, but, you know, even with all the other disasters, if Hitler waits a year and invades Russia in March instead of waiting till June,
Yeah.
if Hitler and his evil Nazi band had treated the people they had conquered as liberators for a few weeks before just immediately massacring everybody they hated, because when they went into parts of Russia, they were hailed as liberators. You know, you hate to talk about that, but when the Nazi army came into Russia, many Russians hailed him as a liberator to get them away from Stalin. But then he turned right around and started gunning and shooting everybody. Use inferior life forms must die. You know, the whole master race bullshit.
Yeah.
Again, that's why evil in the end loses, because evil, even if they use means that the good guys shouldn't use if we're going to be good guys, evil will make those critical errors at those times that in the long run they will lose.
You are very right, Leslie. That is also military history. Went to Hadrian's Wall,
Yeah.
the Roman fort. So where is Island in the Sky located, Randall? Oh, I should ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed that one. But yeah, Malta held out when they were trying to take the Mediterranean. But again, there were errors in that. But I get a lot of my UK friends riled up because I was just watching Patton the other night again. And whenever we watch...
Joe.
Hey, Joe, take care. Whenever we watch Patton or some of the other late-era war movies like Battle of Market Garden, you know, movies like A Bridge Too Far, I am a hater of Sir, you know, General Field Marshal Sir... I don't even want to say his name. Montgomery, Bernard Montgomery. That man was the biggest douchebag on the good guy side. And that's saying something when you got somebody like Patton who was equally a douchebag. But I argue with some UK historians all the time who want to, you know, Montgomery was the best general. No, he wasn't. There were a lot of better generals in the British Army than Montgomery. Montgomery happened to be in the right place at the right time for one battle and took all the credit for it. And then everything else he did in World War II was a blunder. He botched the Sicily campaign. He botched the Italian campaign. And when they pulled him back, he was supposed to land at D-Day. And his objective was in 3 days he was to capture the town of Caen. It took him 30. And the only reason he eventually captured it in 30 days is because we did Operation Cobra, which was the end run, and the Germans had to pull things out of it. And then he did Market Garden, which was a disaster. He called for the raid at Dieppe, which was a disaster. The guy was a walking joke as a general, and yet too many people want to call him the greatest general of the 20th century, which is just...
Gotcha, Randall. It's a John Wayne movie.
Oh, right.
So...
Yeah, I knew. I couldn't remember where it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I'm not a big fan of Patton, but if you gave them equal troops, equal supplies, Patton would have kicked Montgomery's butt 10 out of 10 times. Now, if you put Patton against Omar Bradley or General Horrocks from the 30th Corps, Patton loses. Because Bradley and Horrocks were really the two great generals of, even though Horrocks is made to, well, not Horrocks, Browning is made to look really bad in the movie A Bridge Too Far, and his family did not like that. But from everything I've read about Browning, he probably deserved a little bit of that jab. He was a very good general, but he was definitely a crawler, as you people in the UK used to say. He was definitely a crawler. Well, as you know, I've always said we tried to go a bridge too far. No, you didn't. Right, okay, I remember that movie now. My mom, if it's a John Wayne movie, I've seen it because my mom had a love affair with John Wayne.
Yeah.
My mom loved John Wayne. I never thought he was that great an actor. I like a lot of John Wayne movies, but he's John Wayne in every movie. Even when he played Genghis Khan, he's John Wayne.
It's true.
Well, I want to tell you, Mongol pilgrims, we're going to raid those steppes, and we're going to conquer those tamaraks, because I am Genghis Khan. And I want to tell you, yeah, John Wayne was...
John Wayne. Yeah, it's all right. We'll move on. I don't think this has the interest.
No, you didn't start anything bad.
The majority of this group.
No, I like this talk. That's what my live stream's all about. I love that talk.
Yeah. And there's plenty of trains for those of you who want to see trains running.
Yeah, you can always mute us and...
Yep. Watch the trains.
Watch the trains, watch Joyce rock, whatever, you know.
Sorry. Oh. Yeah, right. There was gold over the bridge. That was a fun movie. All right, night, Karen.
All right, take care, Karen. Stilwell was a good general. Alexander for the UK in World War II was a great general.
Oh, that one.
It's just the one that gets all the fame was the worst. Yeah,
with more awe, Mr. Wayne. Awe.
just put John Wayne in any famous acting role. John Wayne as Vincent van Gogh. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I cut off my ear. I don't care if that's how you paint. I want to paint my impressions. And I'm French, so I'll just be a French impressionist, Pilgrim.
Wasn't the Choo-Choos, wasn't that kind of a remake of another one, though?
No, but no. Rio Bravo and a couple others are all basically the same movie with different guys playing the other parts. No, the Choo-Choos was a great movie. That was his best acting role.
Randall said it was an odd movie.
The Choo-Choos is a great movie. It's his best role. But again, he's John Wayne playing John Wayne. He knew he was dying of cancer, and he plays a man who's dying.
Right. So it worked really, really well.
You worked with, oh my God, Clyde, that is a story I've got to hear. You got to work with Donald Sutherland. You were in a movie, you worked on a movie with Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland is in every one of my favorite movies. He's in all my favorite war movies. The Dirty Dozen, Donald Sutherland. The only one, well, he's not in a Bridge Too Far. The Eagle Has Landed. He's in it. Kelly's Heroes. He's in it. But yes, Donald Sutherland is oddball.
Yeah. My dog impression.
Definitely an antisocial type. Definitely an antisocial type. Woof, woof, woof. That's my other dog impersonation. Oh man, I don't know what makes him run. Always with those negative waves, Moriarty.
Yeah.
Why can't you dig how righteous and beautiful it is today? Why can't you say something mother love and beautiful? Crap!
No, well, was he in the original?
Yes,
MASH?
he was in the movie MASH. Yes,
Yeah.
he was in the movie MASH. Yep. He has an uncredited part in The Longest Day. He's in it, but he's not in it.
Oh. All right, night. Jim. Took me a minute. Night, Jim. Thanks for
All
coming
right,
on.
Jim, take care. Thanks for popping in, listening to us go crazy. What light in yonder window breaks? It is the dawn, Pilgrim. And Juliet, my son. Oh, this nose of toothled flesh and... John Wayne does Shakespeare. To be or not to be, Pilgrim? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the man to suffer the slings and arrows of a bunch of crazed Indians or to raise a rifle against oneself. Pilgrim.
Pilgrim. Just to be sure. Cat.
Oh, yikes.
That's what I yelped
Yeah.
about this morning and threw them both off.
Yeah, you needed to.
Yep. scratch. Ooh.
I've come to Tahiti to get away from those Philistines in Paris. That was going back to Miss Vincent Van Gogh. Boo-doo-boo-boo. Yeah, we're just sitting here waiting for them to say they're on their way with our bed. They better come today. They can't cancel because Joyce and I are.
Jesus, true.
We're going to a hotel for the night.
Right.
Our bed didn't come and we got no bed.
Uncomfortable night if we don't.
Now I've already lost my I've lost my John Wayne voice. I started off decent and just got worse as it went along.
It did.
Well, you can't do
losing
Shakespeare as John Wayne. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I can see the confusion.
I like to think we are holding ourselves back in reserve in
Ooh,
case the Germans were to break through and threaten Paris or London or even New York. But for $50,000, we can be heroes.
What's your favorite train movie?
I don't have a favorite train movie. I just wasn't into trains growing up. My favorite train movie is any video I take of me and Joyce going through the German countryside.
True that. What's your German one? The kid one.
Oh, all right. I'll give you one. It is a German movie. You cannot find an English subtitled version. Well, you can find an English subtitle. You just won't find an English dub version. It came out in 2018, and the sequel just came out this year. But if you know the book and the movie, Never Ending Story, was written by a German guy named Michael Ende. Or you guys might call him Michael Ende. Anyhow, he did another book called Jim Button and Lucas the Train Driver.
Right.
In German, Jim Knopf and Lucas der Lokomotivführer. And that's a very cute movie. And it does involve a train. Emma, who is a semi-sentient train.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cute movie.
It is cute.
Ooh, Charles Bronson Western. My favorite Charles Bronson Western. Once Upon a Time in the Old West. The opening scene alone with Jack Elam, our five-finger Bill, now four-finger Bill.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, wait, here's another one. Here's another train movie that I love. Von Ryan's Express. Hey, kids, let's weave our World War II chat and train chat. Von Ryan's Express. It's a train movie and a World War II movie.
There you go. Saw it on a Lufthansa flight. Yeah, why not?
Why not? It's a cute movie. It's a kids movie, but it's got very strong. It actually was written in the late 50s, early 60s, and has very strong anti-Nazi messages to it, as well as anti-racism and anti a lot of isms in it. The Shack. I've heard of a Class 66, The Rolling Shed, and I've heard of the basketball player called The Shack, but never a train movie called The Shack.
Yeah, he is a cute.
Now, I remember Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder did, what was that? What was the movie? The Silver Streak. Silver Streak. That was kind of a train movie, but I didn't like it. Say what? Oh, we're going to check the laundry. But Von Ryan's Express. Anybody? Anybody? Von Ryan's Express? Anybody? Anybody? No? Oh yes, there are. I have been to classes and shows, Leslie, where they've done Shakespeare in the language of Shakespeare's time, which is awesome. Because again, one of my degrees is a degree in linguistics. Wow, we went from 30 to 17. We bored them off with the war talk. But Von Ryan's Express is another favorite movie of mine, and it's a train and a World War II movie. Well, hi, Simon. How you doing, man? What? Are you going to come back or no? Oh, okay. All right, Joyce is leaving, everybody.
So bye, everybody.
So we'll put the train. Goodbye, Joyce Cam. And I can move my mic back over here, and I can do what I got to do over here. But, yeah, so, again, I'm trying to think of movies that had train connections. Because, again, I did not grow up with any connection to trains. I was not into trains, didn't care about trains. In fact, my only interaction with trains was negative. I was trying to get to work or somewhere I had to be and got stopped by a train. So, yeah, my love of trains started in the 2000 aughts when I was traveling in Germany and traveling by train, and that's when I really started thinking, wow, travel by train is really cool. And I'm still not where I love trains. I mean, I love machinery. I love cars, I love motorcycles, and I love to see how men built and women built things. But I don't have a love affair with the train industry or all things train. I'm still not there. I love passenger trains of the modern era. I have some brand called Fifine, F-I-F-I-N-E. Heck, even my favorite movie of all movies, Beatles Hard Day's Night, has a lot of train scenes on it. But most of my movies are, most of my favorite movies are comedies, and they can occur anywhere. You know, if I were to sit here and try to list all my favorite movies, a lot of them they're comedies, or they're like Robin Hood. The original Errol Flynn Robin Hood is one of my favorite movies. Star Wars, the original 1977 Star Wars, which is now called Episode 4 A New Hope, but when it was first in theaters, it was just called Star Wars, and there was no Chapter 4 stuck on it. And it didn't even say A New Hope. The original run didn't even say that. It was just Star Wars, and the scroll started. I still love that movie. I love all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. The first Avengers movie, and the first Iron Man movie especially. I like movies where I go and I don't have to think too hard about all the social ills, because I grew up in the social ills, I live with the social ills, I worked in the social ills. When I go to a movie, I just want to be entertained. I don't need some director trying to explain to me the meaning of life through the intercession of 5 Chicagoans or New Yorkers at a diner somewhere. I love the very simple movies. But yeah, Beatles, Hard Day's Night, one of my favorite movies. And there's hundreds of movies I like, but if I really start going with favorites, then you got to get into Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Life of Brian. Airplane, the original Airplane movie. That's a movie I could watch 1,000 times. Well, hi, Artie. Well, Artie, if you didn't have YouTube on, you wouldn't hear us, and then you could sleep. I love the Marx Brother classics. I do love The Godfather. It's not a movie I want to watch a lot, but it's an awesome movie. I love it. And I've watched it many, 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 many times. Love The Godfather. But I would rather watch a comedy or some kind of simple action film. On the right day, some of the Pink Panther movies I love to watch. Other times, I can't stand watching the Pink Panther movies. I love to watch the James Bond movies, except for the last 4 or 5 by Roger Moore. Even the last couple by Sean Connery were sort of, You know, I know many people think Sean Connery was the only Bond, but I like the Daniel Craig movies except the last one. I did not like what they did with Bond in that movie. I think it was wrong. I don't like how they're going to try to change some things in there. You know, like, well, James Bond wasn't really one person. It was always just an ID, a fake ID. No, there was a James Bond. Lawrence of Arabia is a great movie. On the right day, I like the old, stupid Dean Martin, Matt Helm movies. Sometimes I can't stand to watch them, but if I'm in the right mood, the Matt Helm movies. But the even better ones are the James Coburn Flynn movies. The 2 Flynn movies he did. Our Man Flint and In Like Flint. Hi, Terry. Nice to have you in. Now, the Pink Panther cartoons are great. Yes, it is a beautiful IC4. It's not the strongest motor in it, to be honest. As it's broken in here, it does not like going up my incline much. And that disappoints me just a little bit. It is a big train, though. And I think they needed a much stronger motor or even do 2 powered heads on it instead of their standard motor in the middle. And then, you know, again, when we talk about favorite movies, I'd have to go into genres. Like, what are my favorite war movies? What are my favorite comedies? But if I want to get down to just my straight favorite movies, that if I were going to be on an island and these were the only 5 movies I could watch, then, yeah, you start with Robin Hood, The Beatles' Hard Day's Night, and I probably only want comedies, because if I'm going to be stranded alone on a desert island, life is going to suck, and I'm going to need movies to make me laugh. Damien, Pink Panther was the first cartoon you saw when you got a color TV. Wow, that is a great memory. The minute you said that, I started thinking, what was the first thing I saw on a color TV? Because I remember when we got a color TV. And I would not remember the first show we watched with it. I just remember my dad taking us all to the store, loading it in the trunk of the car, and taking it home. Because it was like a 19-inch modular, and he threw it in the back of the station wagon. And Me and my 3 sisters, my mom and brother stayed home, but me and my 3 sisters went along. And my dad threw the console in the back of the station wagon. But I could not remember what the first show we watched in color was. I remember finding out that many TV shows that I thought were black and white shows were in color. But it would have been something that night. We would have watched something that night. Because it was after school. It was a payday, which meant it would have been a 15th or a 30th. And my dad said, all right, we're going to go buy a color TV. And we got a 19-inch console TV, which was considered kind of big at the time. And we quickly got a 25-inch TV as well. But, yeah, it would have been some TV series. Like, it might have been, oh crap, what was that? One detective show. It would have been something like either Gunsmoke or, oh crap, Mannix. That's the show. It might have been something like a Mannix or one of those detective shows, or what was the one? Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds had an on-TV detective show he did. Dan August, is that it? Was it Dan? Anybody remember Dan August? And then the first show I probably would have watched in color is we would have come home from school, and back then we got home from school at 4 o'clock. And it would have been either the Monkees TV show or Gilligan's Island, because those were the first 2 shows we watched when we got home from school. We had to do our homework, and then we could go watch TV. And the Monkees came on at 4:30, and Gilligan's Island came on at 5. Your mom won the TV on a game show. You mod yourself on Clunk from the Vulture Squadron. Yeah, that is true, Philip. I remember that. Because even when we got a color TV, half the shows were still black and white. The family shows started showing up in color. Brady Bunch. You know, there were a lot of shows in the mid-'60s that were color TV, but you still had a bunch of them were black and white. The first season of Hogan's Heroes was black and white. The first series of Gilligan's Island was black and white. And then suddenly almost everything went color. Hey, Joshua W56, how are you? Welcome in. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossible Secrets Girl, Deputy Dog. You guys remember, again, more Americans might remember that, Deputy Dog. We had the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show, which originally was 90 minutes and then shortened down to an hour. The Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner hour. No, by the time we were watching TV in the mid-'60s, Leslie, in America, yeah, TV started 6 a.m., 7 a.m. had the morning news and then all the talk shows. And then at 9 o'clock, the game shows started. And from 9 to 1 o'clock were the game shows, and then the soap operas started at 1. And then the soap operas ended at 4. The American soap operas. You had game shows, 9 to 1, Time Tunnel. There's another classic show. The Rat Squad. Oh, what was the other World War II drama? Combat. I remember watching Combat as a little kid. Yeah, I remember Soupy Sales. Now, I wasn't around when he was doing his stuff in the 50s, but Soupy Sales had some kind of show or bits 50s, 60s, 70s. He was always around. If he wasn't having his own show, he was guest starring on somebody's show. But we would stay up on Friday nights and watch The Ghoul and the late night movies, Friday night and Saturday night, the late night horror flicks. You had McHale's Navy, all these shows. We're going to sit here and reminisce about way too many TV shows of the 60s and 70s. Man, I remember when you could get up in the United States at 6 o'clock and there'd be, I could watch Underdog at 6 o'clock and something at 6:30. And then it became commercials and commercials and commercials and commercial broadcasts and commercials. And now it's all the TV dramas or news is on that early. Surfside 6, Route 66. Yeah, no, it started as the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show. It was Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck show originally. And then and it depended on who the director was. You had Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, and Happy Harmonies, although those disappeared quickly. But it just depended on who the director was. If Tex Avery did it, it was one of those. If it was, oh crap, I forget his name. It was Merry Melodies. It just depended on who directed them, whether it was Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes, or the other iterations of it. Because Bugs Bunny could be in a Merry Melody, or Bugs Bunny could be in a Looney Tune. There was same characters, it was just who directed them. Ron Eli as Tarzan, there's another one. But again, our age will say something to it. I'm almost 60, so I was born in 63. So, you know, I grew up watching TV in the mid-late 60s through the 70s. And then I went to work, and I worked, got up early, went to school, went to work, came home, did my homework, went to sleep, rinse, lather, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. And so, really, other than occasional shows like Alfred Night Court in the 80s, I don't remember TV. I remember when I left West Point, where we didn't watch TV, and transferred colleges and went to Ohio Northern University. In the big commons room, everybody loved to watch Cheers and this other show, and I could not stand Cheers. And I'm trying to think what the other show was. And then later on, Seinfeld and Friends came out, and I couldn't stand those shows. And I liked Jerry Seinfeld as a stand-up comedian, but I couldn't stand the show. And then Frasier, of course, came off of, all that was it. Yeah, Cheers and a couple other. I would watch those shows and just go stupid and walk away. Actually, it's the other way around, Randall. In the 70s, it was the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner show, and it was on CBS. It's all about age. Oh, we would get that on PBS, our public broadcasting system here, Leslie. We would get all those weird educational cartoon shows from Europe from everywhere from Denmark to Czechoslovakia, as long as it wasn't commie, you know. Yeah, and then I remember when TV did the Cartoon Network did the Acme Hour. Perry Mason, Dr. Kildare. I'm old enough to remember those, or at least Perry Mason in reruns. I think by the time I was really paying attention to TV, he had moved on to Ironside. Ironside was the late 60s, early 70s. But Perry Mason was everywhere on reruns. So was I Love Lucy and The Lucy Show and Lucille, all her various shows. And I never thought Lucille Ball was funny. I'm such a weirdo. I'm such an iconoclast. That's why I'm an outsider. All these super popular TV shows and that, I never liked them. I never thought Lucille Ball was funny. She was stupid. If I were Ricky Ricardo, I would have been in prison because I would have shot her after the 10th or 11th stunt. I would have been in prison. Leave It to Beaver was also on reruns. Yeah, the Honeymooners. Of course, the Honeymooners got turned into a TV. The Honeymooners was actually part of another show, and it only went 1 year. But back then, the shows went, 200 days in a year. So you have 59 episodes, which would now be like 4 seasons of a TV show. I never thought the Honeymooners was that funny, though, either. Here again, I'm being such a hater. I never thought the Honeymooners was funny. I never thought Lucille Ball was funny. Not in I Love Lucy and not in her other shows. I never thought she was funny. And yeah, Happy Days. I was around for the original Happy Days during its original runs. The original, MASH, the TV show started in 72, and I remember that starting. And MASH was a religion in our house. We always watched MASH. But yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy. We're all getting into old men here. We're sitting and reminiscing. But, the problem with TV is, we say, there's stuff on YouTube that's better than what's on TV today. I agree. But there's also 10 million tons of shit on YouTube. But somebody's putting it out there and people are watching it. We all have our interest, and that's what social media and platforms like Netflix or to YouTube to Facebook and whatever have done. They've opened us to everything. In 1969, we had 2 channels in Toledo, Ohio. We had CBS and NBC. ABC started in Toledo. I think it started getting broadcast in Toledo in 69, 70. And PBS didn't start for another year. So I remember 2 channels. And ABC was on UHF. There you guys go. You had to change the antenna, get the signal right, and twist around and get the pliers out to change the UHF channel and hopefully find the signal. Because ABC was a UHF channel in Toledo forever until cable became more widespread. And PBS followed. But yeah, I can remember having only 2 networks to choose from when I was a little kid in the mid-60s. And now there's 10,000 channels. Nostalgia isn't what it used to be. That's a good one. And there's stuff today that, There's stuff today that wouldn't have been shown 50 years ago, and there's stuff that was shown 50 years ago that wouldn't be shown today. You know, we always talk about, well, you couldn't have made Blazing Saddles today. Well, actually, you could. There are plenty of movies that are Blazing Saddles. They're not as good as Blazing Saddles, but they have all the improper stuff in it. But the difference is, when Blazing Saddles came out to the theaters, let's not even talk about the first time it was shown on TV, Sunday Night Movie, ABC. The first time Blazing Saddles was in the theaters, it was rated R. It was almost rated X. It was rated R, and only your cool uncles went and saw it, and your parents went and saw it, but didn't talk about it in front of you. But now, and everybody took out of those movies what they wanted to take out of it. If all they remembered was a couple of racial jokes or whatever, or the fart joke or whatever, that's, you might hear about it. Today, you'll have all that stuff in a movie, but it's just passé. Nobody cares about it. But if somebody misinterprets a scene in a movie today, everybody's up in arms. The right wing's up in arms. The hippies are up in arms. You know, everybody's up in arms. You know, the right blames the left can blame the right, but everybody's up in arms. And the only difference between today and 50 years ago is we have places to complain about except in our circle of friends at a diner. Or sitting at our coffee table, playing cards. Did you see that disgusting Blazing Saddles movie? That was horrible. No, we didn't go see it. Our Michael, he and his college friends went to see it, and what we heard them talk about was just disgusting. Now it's on Facebook. Oh my God, this was horrible. You know, YouTube and Facebook, we want to throw political assignments on it. There's no politics on them unless people make it politics. But that's just it. We have 10 million forms of social media to complain about everything now. Back in our day, we didn't complain. Somebody was doing that on a YouTube video I was watching about trains. He was on screen talking about, well, you know, 50 years ago, or our grandparents, they didn't complain about that stuff. They just did it. My grandfather complained about everything. He was 85 when he died in 1977, and he bitched about everything. He bitched about how hot it was when he was a kid. He bitched about how cold it was. He bitched about cars. He bitched about horses. Don't tell me those generations didn't bitch about it. They did. Oh, back in the 1800s, nobody complained about the heat. Yeah, they did. Oh, Jean Ricard is here. Hey, how are you, Jean Ricard? If there's one thing humans are, is we're humans. The only difference is today we have it everywhere. Everything used to be kept in the kitchen, at the dining table. Now, it's everywhere. And it wasn't all. You know, that greatest generation that fought the Nazis also burned crosses in people's yards, okay? They also hunted down and lynched gay people, okay? That greatest generation wasn't that great. We didn't have AC until I was about 12, and then it kept breaking down. And I lived in a house that was built to support AC, which meant when it got hot, it was miserable. And I lived in a little basement closet that had no airflow. My bedroom was about 10 feet long by 5 feet wide. It was in the corner of the basement, and we had 2 windows at ground level with bushes in front of them, so there was no airflow. When it was 80 outside, it was 100 in my bedroom. many newspapers do I read daily? Do I read any actual newspapers? Physical newspapers? None. Do I read all kinds of newspapers online? Probably anywhere from 5 to 10. And of course, I don't read everything. And even most newspapers today, I don't read them because whether you consider the paper liberal or conservative, they're sensationalism. They throw the big headline out and they don't research the facts anymore. Certain papers do it better than others, but like our local newspaper, the Toledo Blade, one of America's great newspapers according to themselves, has had a right-wing slant my entire life. It is a conservative-leaning newspaper. The owner is anti-union and anti-worker, and that newspaper reflects those views when it reports on my job. So, you know, I read research more than newspapers. And I read documented research from institutions that I know do true research, where it's vetted, it's verified. It's not something somebody read on Facebook, that somebody posted on Twitter, that somebody got on Instagram off of something they heard their brother say in the bathroom while he was drunk on tequila. Wow. Just home from work. What were you doing, Jean Ricard? And the funny thing is, Joyce and I now have cable that has 300 channels. We watch 3. We're getting rid of cable. It's not that anything's happened. We were talking World War II and we're just talking people's views. And to be honest, again, I'm trying not to be political. I just point out that people apply political viewpoints to things that aren't necessarily political. We were talking TV shows, and I was talking about how a lot of people like to look in the past as the good old days. And I like to say the good old days weren't always that good. And I just happened to mention, I was watching somebody's live stream the other day where somebody was talking about how, you know, our great-grandparents or grandparents never complained about stuff. You know, they had a lot harder than we did and they never complained. And I said, my grandfather was born in 1890. He complained about everything his entire life. It was part of his charm. So, no, actually, I've had a good week. It's been a great week. As you can see, now that you're here, I am just digging my new setup. No flickering cameras. No freezing of the screen. My 10 cameras with room for more. I'm eventually going to get the GoPro back going. And we are waiting for a delivery of a bed. I'm tired because Joyce and I got up early to play tennis. And then we came home after tennis and immediately started cleaning our bedroom and tearing apart the bed I built because we have a new bed coming. And again, it might depend on cultures, Leslie, but you know, I've watched people in this back in those days. I've listened to their stories, and they fought and they argued, and voices were raised. I watched season 1 of The Boys recently on Amazon Prime. Wow, that was wild. You have to get a bigger screen TV. Yeah, I mean, this means nothing if you're watching on your phone. If I would go to YouTube on my phone and watch it, it would be But yeah, so I'll rein it in. I got on my preaching box there because I do get tired of people bashing the present and talking about how great the past was. You know, I ran into somebody that says they wish they'd lived in the Middle Ages. And I wanted to smack them. Why on earth would you want to live in the age of plagues and no baths and massive filth? You know, that's the funny thing. You watch movies today about, or even from the 50s and 60s, 40s, you know, of the Middle Ages, and everybody's got beautiful skin and perfect teeth. No, they didn't. Yeah, I still am and have been a massive book reader. It just depends on what vein I'm in. I paid my bills. You saying that's why I'm grumpy? No. I'm one of those, again, I'm an outsider. People don't get that. I happily pay my taxes and willingly pay more. And I pay my bills. And I always make sure. Actually, Joyce pays our bills. But and in the end, Philip, I like running toilets. I like modern plumbing very much. I like the idea of no cholera and diphtheria in most cases. Or dysentery. At least in my world. I like that. All right, good night, Simon. Take care. Again, if I offended you, well, hey, it is what it is. It's my live stream. And if people don't like what I'm saying in my live stream, they can switch it off, which is what I've done. I go and do live streams and occasionally go, you know what? I'm not digging it today. What is my favorite car movie? What is my favorite car movie? Again, I don't have a car movie. The original Herbie, okay? I don't have a favorite car movie. If there's a Dodge Charger in it, like I'll tell you, I can tell you a car movie I hate, which isn't really a car movie, but it was all about, is the Steve McQueen movie Bullet. I hate that movie. And I'll tell you why I hate that movie. Because Ford sponsored the movie. The good guys are in, Steve McQueen drives a Ford Mustang II. And the bad guys are in Dodge Chargers. And Ford requested that the bad guys be in Dodge Chargers because Ford and Dodge don't like each other. Because Dodge Car Company, the two brothers and my great-grandfather, started Dodge Car Company after working for Henry Ford. So Ford and Dodge do not like each other. And the truth is, when they filmed the famous chase scene where that Ford Mustang that Steve McQueen's driving all over and escaping the bad guys, they went through 6 Ford Mustangs because the Mustangs kept breaking down and couldn't handle it. 1 Dodge Charger. And the Dodge Charger had to have its motor restricted because the Mustang couldn't outrun the Charger. True story. Look it up. Because Ford sponsored the movie, but and Steve McQueen was a car guy and he loved the Mustang, but he also got himself a Charger while filming that movie. But yeah, true story. they had to, ooh, hey, one of my cameras just flickered. What the hell was that? Did I bump the cord? Can't have that flickering going on. It's so nerve Camins. And so yeah, Ford and Dodge still to this day hate each other. But Ford doesn't care because Dodge is such a small company. But the funny thing is, the largest American car club in the world, or outside the United States, is the Dodge Charger Club in Utrecht, Netherlands. There are many, many Dodge Charger and Dodge car clubs scattered throughout Europe. And there's the largest membership is the Dodge Car Club of the Netherlands, based in Utrecht. I forget what its official name is. But and when I'm in Germany, you don't see many American cars at all. But I will see an occasional Dodge Charger over there, old and new, at collector shows. And it's got to be certain era collectors, because when they do cars from the 1920s and 30s, they're going to have more European and not so many American. But there's a huge fandom. In fact, when I had to sell my 73 Charger, the first two offers I got were from guys in Europe. I got an offer from a guy in Hamburg, Germany, and I got an offer from a guy in Italy. The first two offers I got. But shipping, they wanted to pay me what I was, but they didn't want to cover the shipping. They wanted me to knock the price off my car to cover the shipping, which would have been like $3,000 to $4,000 just to ship it over there. And I was not going to knock $3,000 to $4,000 off my car to ship it to Europe. I needed to sell it for the price I was listing it at, and it was still cheaper than it could have gone for. Yeah, Ronin's a good one. I'll give you that, Clive. That's a good car chase. But I don't know, Ronin or Bullet. I don't know which one. But that was the classic 68 A-frame Charger. Yeah, the Mopar, the Dodge Charger, and the Plymouth, the Dodge Daytona, which was a Charger done with additional bits added, and you had the Dodge Daytona, and then you had the Dodge Daytona Super B, and then the Plymouth Super Bird was the Plymouth version of the Dodge Super B. But again, all Plymouth did was copy the Dodge version. Dodge designed that, Dodge engineers designed that, made that, and then Chrysler shared the plans to Plymouth. But, yeah, Dodge ruled NASCAR until Dodge pulled out of NASCAR in '77. You know, Richard Petty, Mopar, he drove Dodges and Plymouths. Even Dale Earnhardt Sr. started in Dodge before Dodge pulled out and he went to Chevy. And then Dodge got back into NASCAR in the like 2008, 2009, maybe earlier than that. And then they finally won the. Back then it was the Winston Cup. They won the NASCAR championship, the Winston Cup back then, and they immediately pulled out. And we keep hoping they'll go back into it. And then in 2013, although officially 2012, well, unofficially 2012, the cars hit the market. but they were listed as automotive year 2013. Dodge released the Dart, and the Dart dominated both the American and European small car racing markets. The Dodge Dart was an amazing little car. Holy crap, was that a good car. And then Fiat pulled the plug on it because when Dodge announced the Dart, Fiat said they had to get 7% of the compact market within 5 years. A market controlled by Hyundai, Honda, and Toyota. And you're saying within 5 years, they had to get 7% of the market? That wasn't going to happen. Even in a 10-year plan, you might have been lucky. And the Dart was selling. The Dart was selling and making money for Dodge and Chrysler. But Fiat pulled the plug on it because it didn't make enough money. But also because Fiat tried to use the Dart to bring their own little Giulia into the U.S. market, and the Giulia didn't sell. And so they pulled the plug on the Dart, hoping that would increase the sales on the little Fiat POS. And it was stupid. 2001 they went back into NASCAR, yeah, and then they pulled out like 2008, 2009. So it's been a while since they pulled out. Hey, Carl, how are you? Nice to see you. Yes, and I am running my two favorite ICEs, the ICE 3 and 4. I didn't finish introducing all the trains. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I got as far as the guys running the full circuit, but I'm still running the freighter, being pulled by a Class 187. And then I am running my Alex. Let me see. Let's do the 11-lane view. I could have done the Joyce view. There it is. Yeah. I'm running my Alex train. Is running the 4th line. And that's pulled by a Class 223 Hercules. There goes the ICE 3, and coming the other way on line 1 is the ICE 4. And that's the other thing, when Mercedes bought out Chrysler and you had Daimler-Benz and then Daimler-Chrysler, Dodge was designing a bunch of trucks, and they took the Dodge engineers over to Bremen and Stuttgart and showed the Mercedes guys, and so Mercedes and Dodge released the Sprinter. But it was released as a Mercedes vehicle, but it was designed by Dodge. In the United States, they originally had the Dodge put on it. And in Germany, in some countries, they actually did put the Dodge name on the Sprinter, but otherwise it was the Mercedes-Benz, the Mercedes Sprinter, a delivery truck vehicle. But that was designed by Dodge engineers. And again, Chrysler was not making enough money for Mercedes, so Mercedes and Chrysler separated. Mercedes was losing money. You know, Daimler-Benz was losing money. And Chrysler wasn't making money for them. And so they separated, and Chrysler was panicking. They canceled Plymouth to save money. But Chrysler wasn't selling. Dodge is the only thing that truly makes money for Chrysler, although Chrysler took the Dodge Caravan and retooled it a bit, and that's their biggest moneymaker, the Chrysler Pacifica. That's Chrysler's biggest moneymaker, is their minivan. And there are things they put in the Pacifica that they won't let Dodge, even though Dodge designed the minivan, they won't let Dodge put in the Dodge Grand Caravan. It can only be in the Pacifica. Because Chrysler that's their only moneymaker, is the Chrysler Pacifica van. So Chrysler finally pimped itself to Fiat, which is a joke and a half. Okay, it was 2012. Yeah, you're right. They started with the Intrepid, but Sterling Martin won the in 2012. Sterling Martin won in a Charger, and then Dodge pulled out. They had a deal with Penske and somebody else, but it was 2012. That was the year Joyce and I almost lost our house. That was the year we started saying I had to sell my Charger, because even though the economic crisis hit in 2008, the ripple effects came down and really hit us in 2012. And that's when Joyce and I almost lost our house here. And Dodge pulled out of NASCAR to save money. But Dodge invented the minivan. Now everybody loves the Honda Odyssey, which is just a Honda ripoff of the Dodge Caravan. And all you got to do is look at whenever Dodge makes a change to the Caravan, the Honda Odyssey makes the change a year later and claims their innovation. That's why the Honda Odyssey almost always looks like a Dodge Caravan. Double check all that information on that, Artie, because Chrysler owned Mitsubishi. And one of the dirtiest deals that happened when Chrysler broke off from Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi raided, industrial espionage, raided Chrysler's databases and stole a bunch of car designs and released them, including some Dodge car designs, and even used the Dodge names. Like there was a Dodge Lancer and all of a sudden there was the Mitsubishi Lancer. So they literally stole Chrysler and Dodge car designs, like the Dodge Stealth, which became the Mitsubishi GT200 or something like that. The only one they didn't get their hands on was the Dodge Viper. All right, Leslie, take care. Was it Brad Keselowski? I thought it was Sterling Martin. Maybe Sterling Martin was the first to win and then Brad Keselowski won it. But yeah, I just remember watching, following Casey Kane. I've got all the Dodge NASCAR Hot Wheels still over here. My kids play with them. The 9, the 12, the 40, the 22, the Cat 22, the 40 Silver Bullet, Coors Silver Bullet. Sterling Martin's car, the 40. Oh, that's right. Sterling Martin was winning the Winston Cup in 2010, maybe, and then he got sick or something like that in mystery races and wound up not winning the points, or he got hurt and wound up not winning the points. Yeah, and it was the Dodge Colt, which was released as the Mitsubishi Colt. In the United States, it was the Dodge Colt, but we owned Mitsubishi into the late 80s, early 90s. And Dodge released the Lancer, and then Mitsubishi released their Lancer, so Dodge renamed the Lancer the Shadow. And you had the Dodge Spirit, the Dodge Shadow, and the Dodge Neon. And the Dodge Neon was the car that bailed Dodge out in the the mid 90s. The Neon sold a ton. You had the Plymouth Neon and the Dodge Neon. And those cars sold huge for Dodge. Dodge was looking at going under, and the Neon saved Dodge. That could be too, because Dodge ruled the truck series. Dodge owned the Winston truck series. And then Fiat, that's another thing I'm mad at Fiat. Fiat took the Dodge name off trucks and made them just Ram. Originally it was the Dodge Ram 1500, the Dodge Ram 2500, the Dodge Ram Bighorn, and blah, blah, blah. And they took the Dodge name off and made it a separate company. even though it's still Dodge engineers, but they took the truck engineers and moved them into a separate wing. And I'm still mad at Fiat for taking our name off those trucks. Well, what's weird, Artie, is, like, for example, you guys in Australia back in the 70s had the Chrysler Charger. But the Chrysler Charger was not the Dodge Charger. The Chrysler Charger was basically, if you look at it, was basically the Dodge 75 Dart. No, yeah, it was the Dart and then changed its name to the Aspen. But I've seen models of the Chrysler Charger, 76 Chrysler Charger from Australia, and it's like, that's not a Dodge Charger, that's a Dodge Aspen. See, Randall, I can't remember all those dates. I'm not a huge NASCAR fan, but I was watching NASCAR in that time period because Dodge was back and started competing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Fiat, period. Officially, the last 2 years of the Viper, Fiat took the Dodge name off the Viper and called it the STR-8 Viper. They took the Dodge name off of that too, and I don't know why. Why they took the Dodge name off of it. They took the Dodge name off the trucks and they took the Dodge name off the Viper, and then they stopped making the Viper, which angered a lot of people because the Viper was a popular car even in Europe. You'll see a lot of Dodge Vipers in Europe because they could beat the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris. Yeah, it would be... Nowadays, Jean Ricard, you probably don't see many American-manufactured cars. Now, Dodges are made in the United States and Canada, but in most of Europe, you won't see any North American-manufactured cars very much. But you will occasionally, like in Germany, if you see a pickup truck, which is rare. In fact, it made news in newspapers in Bremen when a couple of guys bought American pickup trucks, because the newspaper's like, why did you buy these gas-guzzling American pickup trucks? And they said, because nobody in Europe makes them. And the Toyotas are crap. So we bought a couple of these highest-ranked Dodge Rams. Yes, we paid a lot of money. Yes, they're gas guzzlers. But we wanted pickup trucks, and these were the best rated. So they had a couple of guys that bought Dodge Rams, and the Bremen newspapers were all over this. How dare you buy this? And then they found out that a guy named Dodge, who's related to the Dodge cars, was in Delmenhorst, a suburb of Bremen. So they came out and interviewed me about it. And they did a second follow-up where another guy had bought a Dodge Ram pickup truck. And they did an interview with me about the Dodge car history. And I get asked all the time, do you drive Dodges? And it's nothing but. I've got 2 Dodge Journeys and a Dodge Charger in my driveway. My daughter drives a Dodge Avenger, and my son drives a Dodge Dart. I will, Randall. I'm going to make a note of that. Pencil work. The Rise and Fall of Chip Ganassi. That's a name I know. Oh my God, I've been going for nearly 3 hours here. It is 6:20. Shit. I've been babbling too much and annoying people. Oh well. Yeah, I probably should start wrapping it up here. But you know, everybody's loyal to their brand. There are guys that it's Ford and nothing but Ford. Or it is Chevy, nothing but Chevy. Or Toyota, nothing but Toyota. You know, everybody's got their brand, and that's fine. I'm not saying I'm proud to be a Dodge. I have loved every Dodge car I've ever driven. -1. There's one. Alan just texted me. It is so cool. I am on the hit list. Hang on a second. And there's the next notice. I'm getting notices everywhere, and it's all for the same stuff. Yeah, yeah, there's a... hey, this is a channel I want to give a shout out to. Alan, are you listening in the background? You're reading my mind. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know I love to shout out everybody, and I hate to do this, but there is a channel, Model Railway Fantasia. It's a UK channel. This guy is an awesome modeler, but if you don't know Model Railway Fantasia, I'm getting text. Model Railway Fantasia, I don't want to give this a shout out for the wrong reason. He's an excellent modeler, but if you don't know, he has no fingers. And he does exquisite modeling work. I don't want you to go to his channel because he doesn't have fingers. Because really, I should be extremely jealous because I have 10 and can't do the modeling he does. But he's an awesome channel. Model Railway Fantasia. I can't type on this stupid screen right now. I don't know. Since I changed my OBS format instead of setting up in YouTube, I'd have to go over to the other computer. But if somebody here could look it up real quick and drop a link before I log off here. Model Railway Fantasia, if somebody would do me the honor of finding that name, if you're already subscribed to him. Because I feel like shouting him out the way I did is probably the wrong reason to, because he doesn't want a pity party. He doesn't want people liking him. But the man does exquisite work. And there's several other channels I could shout out as well, but yeah, I've been subscribed to him for over a year, because he actually had a different channel and then he dropped off YouTube for a bit and then he came back. But so I hate myself that I brought up this, that he has no fingers on his hands. In fact, he's going through a surgery to have an amputation off of his foot. Thank you. He does amazing work. And lots of people do amazing work. But this guy, like Redbird Tony, like Darth's Eye Eric at Darth's Eye, who's a fellow Ohioan, and he's only got like 50, 60 subscribers. That's another guy to go to. These are people that are battling real shitty health events off camera, and yet they put out what they can when they can, and they all do amazing work. Darth's Eye does N scale, and he just custom built a viaduct using basic track from Kato, and he had to modify it, but he did such a great job modifying his viaduct. Is really cool. But like I said, I don't want people, I want you guys to go check his channel out if you don't know his channel, but I want you to do it because you want to see a great modeler, not because I mentioned that he has no fingers. I mention it because he puts me with 10 fingers to shame. And he's, I mean, let's not get all those heroic hyperbole going, but he should be an inspiration to a lot of people, because a lot of people could have laid down and quit, and he laughs it off, and he puts out brilliant videos, exquisitely made videos. Redbird Tony's another one. Darth's Eye. I've got several people, and there are other people that have health issues, severe health issues that don't talk about it on screen. But I only mention the ones that will talk about it, or you will see it online where they do talk about it. If you know Redbird Tony, you know what he's going through. If you know Eric at Darth's Eye, you know what he's going through. There are other people that only drop hints at their health issues. There are other people that I know what they're going through, but we don't talk about it online. And they're an inspiration because anytime I want to complain, and Jean Ricard, this is why you see the real me. Anytime I want to sit and complain about life, there are people who have it a lot worse than me. And that's why I got to be happy with who I am and what I am, because I am lucky to have what I have. And that's what people don't understand. The universe is about, let's not call it luck, let's call it just the way the cosmic wheel rolls. I have been in the right place at the right times at times. I was definitely in the wrong place at wrong times in my life, but I've also been in the right place. And there's a lot of people that work harder than I did, maybe smarter than me, but weren't in the right place at the right time. I got hired for jobs I know certain people that had certain other attributes than I had might not have gotten hired for. And those jobs allowed me to get to places I wouldn't have otherwise have gotten to. And so I just, anytime I see somebody who has it, that outworks me when they've had a much bigger disadvantage, I applaud and say awesome people, because you gotta play the cards life deals with you, and sometimes life gives you the joker and a bunch of twos, and there's not much you can do about it other than see if you can bluff your way through it. And me, I've been dealt aces many times in my life, and so I'm grateful for that. And so on that bizarre note, and I can be, negative about stuff, and that's why I try not to bring politics in here, because I can be very negative. There are people that I'm probably friends with I wouldn't be friends with if we talked politics. But be that as it may, go to his channel. The few of you that are left here, Clive, thank you. Clive posted the link to it. It is Model Railway Fantasia. It's a brilliant channel, and thank you, Alan, for reminding me to do that. There's like 5 channels I want to shout out, and I'll try to start taking notes, because I really want to shout out everybody's channel, from Tim JD to Philip Page to Leslie to all your pages. That's just where it's where it's at. And if you guys can be as nice to everybody else, as nice as Alan and Philip and Danny and Jim, and we're 2 strangers named Joyce and Tony when we came over to the UK. The 3 cops at Liverpool Station, Central Station in Liverpool, when Joyce and I were asking for help. All the tube station workers in London, you can be nice to people, whether you care for their politics or you care for what they believe in. You want to fly your flags that say F this person, fuck that person, fuck this, fuck that. As John Lennon said, if you go carrying around pictures of Chairman Mao, you aren't going to make it with anyone anyhow. It doesn't cost a dime to be nice to people. It doesn't cost a dime to be friendly and courteous to people. And everybody needs to learn that. And on that bizarre little note, check out those channels, and thank you for staying with me for 3 hours. I can't believe I babbled for 3 hours. Yeah, I can. I'm going to hopefully get a bed soon, because I'm going to take a nap. So I'm going to say, on behalf of Joyce and Kyan and Lynn and Liz and AJ and Val and Chris and everybody else out there, Auf Wiedersehen, Choo-Choos, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.